Today's episode of the Som TV podcast is brought to you by Wine Paris. Wine Paris, happening February 9th to 11th at the Paris Expo Porte de Versailles, is the world's greatest and leading beverage event. The global beverage industry meets in Paris over wine, spirits, beer, cider, and full no and low alcohol wine categories, all under one roof. Over 6,000 exhibitors from 60 countries and more than 60,000 trade visitors from 155 markets gather together to discover producers, spot trends, meet suppliers, and expand business globally. If you work in the wine, spirits, or beverage trade in the United States, you need to be at Wine Paris 2026, February 9th to the 11th, right in the center of Paris at the Paris Expo Porte de Versailles. Register online now for free and secure your trade badge. February is coming fast. There is no better way to connect with wine trade professionals around the world than Wine Paris. You can find a link in the show notes to grab your badge for free right now. Welcome back to the Som TV podcast. I'm your host, Jason Wise. On today's episode, I'm going to be speaking with the owner of one of my favorite wine bars in America, Vintage Wine Bar in Los Angeles. Her name is Rebecca Phillips, and she has been all over Som TV for years. Blind tasting sessions, educational content, and many podcasts. Here she returns to tell the story of her dream to open a wine bar, the crazy things that have happened over the years that she's run it. Trust me, these stories are crazy. And then the fact that she has to now shut it down and why she has to shut it down. This is a truly deep and personal conversation, one that I'm very excited to share with you. I hope you'll enjoy it. Without further ado, Rebecca Phillips from the last days of Vintage Wine Bar in Los Angeles. We try to cover every aspect we can of the wine business, the food business, but also kind of like the little parts and pieces of the spokes of the wheels that go around. And we haven't really covered what it's like to own a wine bar, love a wine bar, say goodbye to a wine bar. And I don't think people understand the importance of what the hub of a wine bar means to a community and such. And so, Rebecca Phillips, you are one of my favorite people. You're constantly on Som TV. This is your at least second time on the podcast. You're pretty famous for your pairings with hilarious foods, nachos and tacos and chicken wings and stuff like that with great wines. And you do great stuff with that, which you can find on Som TV. Welcome to the show. I'm honored to have you here.
Thank you.
You've been on, this is your second time on the podcast? Does that sound right?
I think so, yeah.
A returning guest.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod. All right, so first let's drink, because you got something here to open.
First, let's drink. We've got our really beautiful champagne, the Calais Lumiere.
Mm-hmm.
This is extra fruit, so nice and dry.
Little grower champagne, is that what that is?
Yes,
Okay.
And I just figured if you're gonna have a lovely conversation with a lovely friend.
Oh, lovely.
Champagne, right?
Okay.
Always.
Let me ask you.
Pairs with everything.
Pairs with everything. Let me ask you about being the owner of, you own two wine bars currently right now, at this exact moment while we stand.
Exactly.
Let me ask you something about why you decided to open up a wine bar. Why did you do this? Because it seems from the outside that this is a lot.
Smart idea.
Well, look, I'm the guy who started a streaming service and makes documentaries for a living.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm in the same boat as you for ideas.
Well, I think that is the answer, actually. It's for the experience. I worked in restaurants forever. Cheers.
Mm-hmm. Cheers, this is lovely. It's very neat, too. This is not what I was expecting.
This is delicious.
Yeah, this is really great. So you worked in restaurants.
I worked in restaurants forever. I went to school for theater. And I moved to LA to chase the dream, like so many people do. And through all of that, I worked in restaurants. Even my first job in a restaurant, I was 14. I was a cake cutter.
You were a cake cutter?
A cake cutter at a 24-hour diner in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It was one of those places that has a menu that's 24 pages. Do you want stir fry? Do you want pasta? Do you want pancakes?
So you worked the Cheesecake
Any time of the day. Kind of, yeah. It was a Greek restaurant, yeah. Then from there, I just always worked in restaurants, whether it was Outback Steakhouse or a high-end martini lounge or all through college, everywhere. When I got to LA, I kind of started from the bottom, working at bars and restaurants, and I acted for a long time. I did that whole thing on and off, and that was a blast. And then around the time that I was getting burnt out from that, I discovered wine. It's amazing how long you can work in restaurants and not really know anything about wine and just bullshit your way through wine. And suddenly a friend of mine gave me the wine Bible, and I was just like, how do they make wine? What is this? Like, what's going on here? And I got very curious about it. I'm a curious person and I love to go down a rabbit hole. And I got the wine Bible and I was just like, I'm going to read this from front to back just for fun and make notes. And then I was like, oh, this is like a thing. Like you could do, like this could be your job. I was like, that's wild. And at that time, I started to manage restaurants. I was working at Little Dom's at the time in Los Feliz, and they were always like, do you want to be a manager? Do you want to be a manager? And if you're a server, you know, that's the kiss of death because it's less money and more hours. But I've just always valued the experience. And it was something new and it was exciting. And so that's when I got into management, which I knew was a way to, I could use that to facilitate my wine education and my wine journey, which is what I did. And then that started a whole new journey of Court of Masters and getting those accreditations and learning. And then ultimately, like, once you do that, you want your own wine list. That's what you want. You want it so bad. You want to be the person who tastes with the reps and decides what is the best version of Chablis that you can put in that price range. And that's what I was chasing. And then I met my business partners and they were looking to open wine bars. They're sports bar guys. They don't know anything about wine. It was a great match. And that's how we got into it. But truthfully, I don't think I ever got into it for them. Like, there was no money.
Yeah.
There's no money. I got into it for the experience. I love hospitality. I love wine. And I was like, oh my God, if I could have my own little wine bar, I could do events and I could do my own list and I could do this and I could do that. And I'm a weirdo. I love managing a team that is passionate about what we're doing. I know management can suck sometimes, but I like it. And so this kind of like brought all those things together.
It's really tough. The management of people, though, is really hard because you end up having to really care about these people. And it's tough to run a company and have to care about people because you can't always be there for them.
You can't, but I think there is something to... Dolly Parton is like my all-time idol and mentor. She doesn't know it, but...
she doesn't know it.
But she is. She has this quote about, you know, like, you can love everybody, but it doesn't mean you can't set boundaries. That's not how she said it. But like, I think that you can care and have empathy and really invest in your employees, and you can also have boundaries.
Okay, that's fair.
Like they have to still show up and they have to still do X, Y, and Z. But if you do that, I will invest in you, and it's a two-way street.
That's fair. Something I need to learn. I need to listen to more Dolly Parton. Or Jolene or something. So you open up, I am so curious, the ups, downs, goods, bads, of what it's like to do this. And I know that you're in an interesting period right now. We can talk about that if you want to, but how do we start the confessions? Like, what would you like to confess? I'll be your father here.
Okay, and I think my biggest confession where we are...
Your priest or...
Yeah, exactly. Where we are right now, which is we're about to close one wine bar. The other one will stay open. The economy of Los Angeles in the last year, we just have not been able to sustain, and it makes more sense now to close down. And I would say the confession is in that I'm just ready to stop taking care of everybody else.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing. I feel a little emotional, but because in hospitality, it's give, give, give. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's beautiful. I think that creating a space where people can come and feel special and feel valued, especially in a time where everything is digital, to create an actual physical space where people can show up, you smile at them, you listen to them about their day, all of that. It is more important than just wine and food. And I've always believed that. But in like giving that for a long time and in creating that space for everybody else, I think the realization for me right now is I have to give that to myself for a little bit. I need to like...
It sort of drains you a little bit, huh?
A ton. It drains you a ton. Because you're not just doing that. You're also worrying about how do we make payroll? Did I order enough cheese? But can I order a little less than that to try to make the payroll? And then can I order the cheese on Wednesday so that we can make the payroll? Like all of that is so... draining.
Yeah. So talk to me, since you're on this, let's talk about the economics of doing this.
Yeah.
Just to start it off, and because I'm in a similar business in a weird way that you are, in that margins are very slim. How close to the sun are you on a given month, week, year? Are you ever not taking a sale? Are you ever like on a razor's edge of we're not going to make payroll, but I don't know how to tell anybody, and then you make it? I mean, where are you at? Because I know you're speaking for pretty much all wine bars across the country.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say for everybody, right? There might be like a magic line in your P&L where you own the building, or you're partners with this is technically illegal, but you're partners with the importer who you get some wine from. Like, there's always like there's something
technically illegal.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know, but
so talk to me about the economics here, about kind of how you do this. Like, how razor thin are your margins? How do you make any money? I know that, look, you didn't get into this for the money. Obviously, you hope to, but
they're super thin, and I can really only speak to Los Angeles because I know other markets are different. And I am a proponent of a high minimum wage. I think it's important. The cost of living here is very high.
Yes.
So I'm not one of these people who's like, we got to pay the people less. Like, I don't believe in that. However, our city has sustained an unsustainable year. I mean, the fires affected everybody. We were very lucky. My house was not affected and my business was not burned down, but every business in Los Angeles was affected by the fires.
Oh, yes.
And we could never climb out of that Q1. In addition to, for 2 years, the entertainment industry has not been thriving. So many people have lost their jobs. A lot of people have moved from LA. So that, I think, was our initial hit, then the fires. And LA is just in a weird place right now. And COVID was crazy and all of that. So for us, we opened in 2019. We were growing. And then in 2025, we literally just fell off a cliff. So I can see what happened on paper. I don't think we're alone in that. Small businesses we live paycheck to paycheck, like many Americans. You're buying stuff, and then you're hoping you get the sales that month to pay it off.
Yeah.
And there was a period, especially because during COVID, we kind of got caught with our pants down, where we were like, oh shit, we have all this stuff to pay off, and suddenly someone turned off the tap of the sales. So after that, we worked really hard to pay as we go. If we don't have the money to pay for it, we don't order it. Yeah. And that worked for a while until all of a sudden you get into a groove and you're looking at your unpaid bills and you're like, okay, well, only a few of them are past due. I think we'll be all right. And, communication is key. As long as you can let everybody know what's happening and you let them know you're on top of it. We didn't forget. We're coming. It's coming. But you can only do that for so long until you see like the trend and you're like, we're not climbing out of it.
Yeah.
Which is where we're at now. And so it's like, okay, unfortunately, it will just have to come to a close because it makes sense to do it now in terms of the economics.
I want to say to anybody listening right now, you're thinking, why am I talking to a wine bar owner? You're listening to this in St. Louis or Boston or wherever you live, and I know there's a lot of people listening to this. This is an important topic because what I'm seeing happen, and part of the reason I wanted to talk to you about this, and this isn't all going to be doom and gloom. We're going to talk about some fun stuff here too.
Yeah.
But we're losing what you talk about, everything's digital. We're losing this tactile, you bump into somebody. You have to say, excuse me. You have to be nice. You have to ask if someone's using this chair. You have to, the things that made us humans and interact with each other and kind of gave us our social norms and our mores that we kind of behave with, they're going away. And they're going away because we're losing places like your wine bar. It sounds, to me, this is a thing that there was always the in-person experience I think I took for granted. My daughter will sit in a room and she'll text with the person next to her and they're laughing at their text jokes, but they haven't said anything out loud. And that's fine. And I don't want to be the old guy screaming at a cloud here, but I do want to say—
We were all on AOL.
Yeah, we were all on AOL.
At some point in time, yeah.
Absolutely. But I do want to say that when you look at real estate and what it costs to build out a building, I don't think a lot of people who walk into a privately owned—
Well, my favorite thing is when people say something like, well, why didn't you put the bathroom over there? You really should have put that over. Why don't you guys have a patio? You really should have done like a back patio. And you're like, yeah, I would have loved to do all those things, Linda, but that's not how the building showed up.
Linda, you know what? We had to remove that hot tub. We wish that it was still here.
That might be an idea. Wine bar hot tub club.
Wine Bar Hot Tub Club.
Yeah.
So I just think that the idea of these little privately owned spaces where Rebecca Phillips is the head and has a few employees and everybody knows each other, to lose these and to only, now when they build new places, you're like, oh, cool, there's a bubblegum shrimp and there's a Yard House.
Yeah.
And that's not real. Because guess what happens? They'll just close that location, doesn't really matter. And they'll move to another place. And when they open up a new stadium in Cleveland or in Los Angeles or, Milwaukee, they'll go, okay, Yard House goes here now. And until it doesn't. But these places are what makes neighborhoods real. It makes the place real. And it's a relatively scary thing to me that's going away. So I just want to say to everybody, we talk a big game of like support the local business.
Yeah.
But I will say, you don't need to support the local business. You need to make it part of your routine and your business and your life,
Yes, for sure. But I also...
That's easier said than done.
It's easier said than done, and I just hesitate to... for sure, if you value a business, prioritize that small business. Absolutely. Maybe don't order off Amazon. Maybe, choose that local bookstore, of course. But also, I don't want to villainize or just no shade. I mean, I know my husband and I have stopped going out. So here I am, head of the restaurant group for the Chamber of Commerce and telling everybody, go to restaurants. We're like, I'm not going because we cut back too. So I get it. It's like, on the one hand, for sure, like, yes, like champion your local businesses. And if you have money to spend it there. But if you don't have money to spend, you don't have money to spend. And I just don't ever want to make people feel bad about that, because like we're all in this together, and we're in an ebb. We're in a major ebb, but it will flow again.
Of course it will. That's how this all goes. And it is partly, like, bringing this back to wine for a second, partly the number one question, and people who listen to the pod and watch the shows on Sam TV or anything that involves me, I'm always wondering how these 4th, 5th, 10th generation families have been able to stay alive. How did the family not eat itself alive? How did the just events, and it doesn't have to be a world war, it's just the economies of countries go up and down. How are you still here? And it's always this question. You can see the measured response where they want to tell me the truth of, it was fucking hard. But they don't say that. They go, well, what we did is we did this, and I bought up my brother's shares, and we were very careful, and we were nice, and we have friends, and people helped us. But the truth is, this stuff is so hard. I kind of look at having a business like a marriage. The bliss is not knowing what it's going to be like. When people say, are you till death do you part? They don't say that because that's a cute phrase. They say that because you're going to go through some stuff. It's going to be very hard. And you got to admire people who stick with a marriage. And I don't mean a bad marriage, but a marriage that you could leave, but you don't. And the same goes for a business, where at a certain point you have to go, I can't maintain this, or I can. And I find the people who do sustain, and you look at them and they've done 50 years of the same falafel house, you go, you must have seen some stuff. The fact that you're still here doing this,
for sure,
is incredible. Back to just the general running of a wine place. Tell me some of the crazy things that you have seen doing this. I mean, where you have had to...
You mean like the people fucking in the bathroom?
Sure. Have you seen that?
Well, I haven't seen it, but I've had to knock on the door and say, you guys got to get out now.
It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you.
Okay, good. All right, good. Yeah, that's...
Wait, were you here last Thursday?
No,
okay.
Certainly...
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
There's been a little cocaine.
Cocaine?
Cocaine.
Okay.
At the bar, where you like turn your head and you're like, I'm so sorry, ma'am. Are you just straight doing cocaine at our bar?
Are you serious? People were dropping...
And so I happened once, and this was shortly after we opened, so it was before cocaine was extra dangerous. Don't do drugs, kids. I was literally like, girl, go in the bathroom and party like everybody else. You cannot do this at the bar.
That is a flex.
Especially because we are not a club. We are like a...
This is a pretty weird...
We are like playing...
If you're not watching the episode, which we are filming, so you should watch it on Sam TV, but if you're not watching this episode...
We are playing like slow jazz, the lights are low. It's very like... It's like a 40 and older crowd. Like, it's not a club.
I mean, honestly, that sounds like a great place. I've never...
But I'd say that's the craziest.
I've never done cocaine, but if I was going to...
Yeah, one time an unhoused person did smoke a blunt in the bathroom. And... because it did interfere with the aromatics of the wine.
Yeah. You don't want a blunt to be in the tasting, though, the floral notes of
No.
your Cab Franc or something. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we've got cocaine at the bar. This place sounds fun.
I know, it sounds kind of rowdy. It sounds much rowdier than it actually is.
Why would you shut down a place? You can have sex in the bathroom, you can do cocaine at the bar, and you can smoke a blunt.
It gets pretty rowdy.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, those are like the wildest things. And also, just to be clear, were like rare occasions. Other than that, the rowdiest things were like, you know what was really fun was when it was still very COVID-y and you could only have a couple people, we would have some late night karaoke parties.
Okay.
And I mean like 5 people. It was like me and the staff and like 2 regulars. And those times I look back on with such nostalgia because you couldn't really go out anywhere at that time. Right. And it was just like late night.
That was like your bubble. Your bubble was a bunch of like karaoke singing.
It was like the employees and 2 regulars that would come in often and we would just get tipsy and drink good wine and play music and dance on the bar. And and there was like 5 or 6 of us. So
that is so fun.
Yeah, those are very fun memories.
What would you call the theme of this place? And what I really want to ask you is kind of the evolution of what you started serving and where you're at now as this bar is coming to a close. How did the wine you serve evolve? Did it always stay the same?
I would say the theme of everything we do is community and connection. From the beginning, I told the staff, we're selling wine, but that's not really what we're selling. What we're selling is community and connection. And wine happens to be the facilitator. And I know that's cheesy as hell, but I really, really, truly mean it. From the people who picked the grape in the vineyard, to the person who made the wine, to get it into the bottle, to come to us, to get to the person. Like, there's something so beautiful and human about that experience that I value. And being able in this to support like small importers, small winemakers, our local LA winemakers, all of that has meant everything to me. And that was the theme and the core of like, this is what we're doing.
This is how I met you. I met you because Angelina Wine and Mark Blatty and all these people who make wine in Los Angeles, and me learning about the wild history of Los Angeles County's wine. I met you through this process of you caring. I mean, I met you, you're harvesting grapes. You're showing up places to like, volunteer your time and learn and do things. You really are like part of the community. You've walked the walk. It's no joke.
Well, I would say that is a privilege, and thank you for saying that, but that has truly been the privilege of all of this, is creating these relationships and connecting with people, but really, truly creating a space where, I mean, we had a wedding here, we've had dog adoptions, we've had art, we've had music, we've had, we just had a night with a doctor who facilitated this conversation about menopause, and all these women were here. And I mean, that is important information that to literally and when you think about olden timey pubs, they were literally the hub of the conversation of the community.
That's right.
So being able to create something like that has been the privilege and the exciting part, and just truly I'm really proud of it.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing.
I feel like that is
there's nothing I want to do, and I didn't mean to make
I just get a little emotional, but I do truly feel like that is where it becomes larger than the sum of the parts.
Yeah.
But of course,
for me,
you have to have good wine.
That's right. I mean, for me, I've one of my goals was to do cocaine on a bar with a bunch of menopausal women. Was what I was hoping to do. No, I'm just kidding.
That's where the wheels really come off.
The wheels would definitely come off. Yeah, no. But you're absolutely right, and that is something America is just. God, we were so close to having. I don't mean pub culture in that all the men go and watch soccer games for hours on end drinking.
But even that's
pints,
important.
But it is important. Well, and if you've been to the UK, some of the men, that's the only socialization they get. So it's a good thing. But that is such an important thing, this whole community thing. And it goes right back to what you said at the beginning of the digital aspect of our lives now.
Yeah.
It's hard to put your phone down.
Yeah,
and a wine glass in your hand means your phone is often not in your hand.
It's true.
And
that should be a PSA, Jason.
Yeah.
Put your phone down.
Pick
your wine up. Yeah. But in terms, to go back to your original question, when I went off on a tangent, but to go back to the wine list specifically, we've always valued small producers, intentional winemaking, and really rotating the lists. Like our clientele has always been, what's new? What do you have on the list that's new? So we've just rotated everything. We've always done about 50 wines by the glass. We've tried to have a little bit of everything. We've got your mom's Cabernet.
50 wines by the glass.
Which sounds kind of wild, but like if you don't have cocktails, you really do go through it. And we use repours, and we have the Corvin, and we have a little system to try to keep things. And there's a little waste, of course, but not as much as you would think. But yeah, we've got a little bit of everything. We've got natty orange wines. We've got beautiful champagne. We've got some cool Bordeaux, and so I don't know that the wine list has necessarily evolved. It was kind of like always evolving because we kept it fresh and we kept it just always rotating. So, and always a big focus on Santa Ynez Valley, just like Santa Barbara, Los Angeles. Of course, I love all those winemakers. I'm a big champion of anything local. So we've always had a big focus on that, but always a Bordeaux, a Mencia, a Madeira, a little bit of all the things.
Well, I mean, I'm going to miss this. So people, the reason I'm doing this, we film here all the time. I mean, we film with you. We film at this location. I'm going to miss this place enormously. I really will. I just recently had sex in the bathroom. And it was a really good time.
It's very comfortable in there.
It was pretty nice, honestly, spacious. I'm used to smaller.
So think about what the rates are.
Yeah.
Weekend versus
You really need to put a fan in there for my blunt, but at the same time, I'm going to miss it. And honestly, I just, Mando, I love you. You're the best. And
Aww.
I guess I have to ask you what you're going to do next.
I don't know.
Isn't that scary?
No. It is scary, of course.
How old are you, 25?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah.
No, I'm 39. I will be 40 in 2026. No, I don't know. I'm sitting for my theory exam again in February. So our last day of service is January 3rd. So I'm going to take like the world's longest nap from January to February when I take my test.
Very much deserved.
And then I don't know. I don't know. It's exciting. It's scary. It's sad. It's like all the things. But I just feel like it's part of the soup, right? It's part of the human experience. The ups, the downs. You create something, and then hopefully you create space for something new.
Well said. I'm more afraid of life than you are. I'm proud of you. This is good.
Yeah, bring it on, baby.
Well, I can't wait to see what you do next. You'll obviously be on Sam TV nonstop.
I hope so.
There's no chance you're
I'm going to have some free time, Jason.
Well, I don't know when this is airing. This is airing just probably right after the New Year, so we will have multiple pieces with you and others coming up shortly. So, Rebecca, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
This
Thanks
is
for
a
the
pleasure.
laughs.
Cheers.
Okay. All right, you.
Cheers.
I want to thank everybody for listening. It really, really means a lot. I want to thank Rebecca Phillips for being so honest and open with her thoughts and her dreams and her goals. I can't wait to see what she does next. She's one of the absolute best in the industry. We adore her. I want to thank my producer, John Adams, for doing this episode. I want to thank Jackson Myers for recording it. I would like to thank you all for listening. If you love this podcast, please do not forget to go and rate it wherever you listen to your pods, Apple Pods, Spotify, whatever. It really means a lot, and we see that stuff. I also want to say we are going to bring the podcast on the road. I know we mentioned this at the end of 2025. It's getting in motion, so get ready to see tickets and get ready to buy them because they will sell out fast. I also want to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by Wine Paris. Wine Paris is the leading event in the beverage industry. With over 6,000 exhibitors from 60 countries and more than 60,000 trade visitors from 155 markets, there is nothing like it in the world. If you are a part of the trade in the beverage industry, you need to be in Paris, February 9th through the 11th at the Paris Expo Porte de Versailles. You can register for your badge free at the link in our show notes, and you must go. I'm telling you, what excuse do you need to go to Paris? February in Paris is a wonderful time. Grab that link in the show notes. We will talk soon. Everybody be safe.